Let's turn your words into apps using the new App Builder agent inside of M365 Copilot. So what we're going to do today is Microsoft just announced this feature, and I was one of the lucky ones that got his hands on it super early. So I'm going to walk you through some real demos, kind of help you get started using Agent Builder to build these apps. And then, of course, kind of give you some of my prompting tips, show you some of the UI, and get your mind going in that direction, because this whole idea of vibe coding and rolling something out that shows up in PowerApps through this agent builder is a very real thing. All right, that's enough of the blah, blah, blah. Let's switch over to my desktop and take a look. Those of you that watch all the time, like, this is new. We're going to record from my hotel room. I was having problems getting it all working. I got it working this morning, and so I got up at 5 a.m. to record this from the conference hotel room to get you up to date. So those of you who don't usually watch, if you're like, hey, why is the quality not amazing? It usually is. This morning, give me a little grace. Anyway, let's jump in. Now, keep in mind that this new App Builder feature is dependent on you having the M365 Copilot license. So you need that license in order to see this. Also, keep in mind this feature is brand new. It is just rolling out. So two things, right? You might not have it quite yet, but you should have it very soon. Two, give it some grace. It's not perfect, but man, it is going to evolve very quickly. So enjoying that. Let's go over here. And so over on the left, under chat, if we go down here and we say all agents, the first thing you're going to do is go here to search, and you're going to search for App Builder. Now you see that frontier beside it there. That's because it is brand new. It's still a very early preview. So you may or may not see that as when you go to watch this, but just keep that in mind. That frontier is it's your reminder that this is new. It's not ready for production, but it is ready for you to start using, exploring, and getting comfortable with. So when you click on that, if you already have the agent, which I do, then it will just be available over here on the left. If you will get a pop-up that says you need to add the agent, right? Let's see if I can get the little pop-up to show up. Nope. So you get a little pop-up there. You just say add, and then you'll be able to access it from over here on the left. Now that you have the agent, you can go in here and you're going to prompt it with what you want. Now you could do the whole, right? Like, this is a form of vibe coding, right? You've heard that before. Like, you're not caught up in that. But I always think of vibe coding as being for professional devs. This is meant and tailored to be for information workers. Anyone that knows their business processes, their business rules, they can build. So it's not meant to be super technical. It's meant to be very approachable. And you could just write something as simple as build me an incident reporting app, and it would start down the process. You could also check out some of these example prompts that they have. But what I want to do is I want to kind of show you the prompt I've been playing with. So I'm going to hit paste here. And so you can see mine is like, hey, create an app called Incident Report 7. Can you get how many tries I'm in? I'm way more tries than that, but 7 stable tries. Anyway, for reporting workplace incidents, I've laid out the type of data storage I want, the flow of the process, right? I want a welcome screen with these 2 different buttons. Here's what I want on the new incident form. Here's what I want to happen when you submit it, and then the whole viewing experience. Now, if you're thinking, oh my goodness, how in the world did you write that? Are you some type of ninja? Well, yes, I'm a ninja. But no, what really happened here was I went over to regular Copilot, so just a regular Copilot chat here. And I said, hey, I want to build an incident report app using the App Builder agent. Can you help me figure out what details to give it? And so it gave me a form of the prompt you just saw there. But then with all of those words in front of me, I was able to be, I want these witness statements, or I want, to include this or remove that. So I kind of worked with it in just plain text. And so me and regular Copilot worked on this awesome prompt. And so then now when I give it the app builder, it gets in a good place. Now you could kind of iterate through the process with app builder there, right? But I'm trying to what they call one-shot it, just meaning I'm trying to get it all right the first try, which is not what app builder is meant to do. But what I found is that the better your first shot is, of your first prompt is, the easier you're going to have getting it to be where you want it to be. Also, it seems like right now that it sets up the whole SharePoint list for you, and all the columns there are kind of based on this first prompt. So having a pretty decent first prompt, at least today, is one of the keys to having some success. Okay. Now, also keep in mind, we could hit the plus here and we could add additional content. So maybe you have a drawing of what you want, or kind of some requirements, or any of that type of stuff. You could pull that in. But, today we're just kind of using our words, and, I've got some decent words here. So now we're going to click on the little go, or I could have hit enter. And so it's going to start to think. You're going to get this lovely little dreaming up your app, right? It's very, soothing to watch. But what you can really see is, we go over here, you're going to see right here, you're going to get little updates. It's not going to show you everything it's going to do. It's not showing you the code By the way, it's writing React code. If you care, you probably don't, but it's writing React under the hood. But it's going to kind of show you the bullet points. And you can also, in a moment here, will say, okay, well, I figured out that I need 13 steps or 20 steps or 10 steps to do your app. And then you'll kind of see those steps take place. Also keep in mind, I'm not going to talk through all this, I promise, but this is taking anywhere from 2, 3, 5 minutes to run, right? It's not meant to just instantly spit out an app. It is meant to think about it, iterate on it, and do a good job. Now, before I go and pause while this thing continues to build, I do want to point out that, I told you it's built in React, right? Which you don't care, it's just a programming language. Like we're never going to see the code. You can't directly edit the code, but under the hood, it's React code. But the reason as a PowerApps person I care is taking this app that it's building and it's publishing it into the PowerApps framework. So all of the stability, all the security, all the love that is the Power Platform, right? It is able to leverage that, and we're building this app in that little container, right? So the whole thing, like you've heard this idea of code apps where pro devs are using Visual Studio and GitHub to build Power Apps and publish those to Power Apps. That is the same type of thing. They're publishing into the Power App framework the same way that this is doing. Now, that doesn't mean it's a Canvas app. It doesn't mean that it's an app that you can go edit in Power Apps, but it's just using the Power Apps framework under the hood. So it's just a good thing for you to know. Also, when we talk about the whole React concept, if you've looked at generative pages and model-driven apps, they are also done in React, right? So React is kind of the language of the, this whole turn words into code world. All right, after like 2 minutes, it finished. And here you can see that it did all my work in 16 steps. And if we expand that out, you could kind of walk through the steps, right? I think we left it 7, but you can just kind of see all the little bullet point versions. Now, if you go down here, you get a little bit more robust explanation of what happened. Some of it can be a little technical that you don't care about, but if you want to kind of an overview. Now, what you are looking for here is look, all the data is stored in these SharePoint lists. And so if we click on that, that will take us to the SharePoint site. So it created a SharePoint site for us, and we'll just say maybe later. And they created a list, incident reports, and then if it stays on par with itself, it made about 3 incidents already, right? So it kind of made some example ones for us. So that is important. Now, like finding this SharePoint list later, not that you really need it, but if you want to find it later, it's a little difficult. So I've always been clicking on this link, so I kind of have that tab open. Now, more importantly, we want to check out the app. So it's already open over here on the right. And so you can see we got a little welcome, start new incident report, view incident, right? So let's click on start new incident report. All right, so it did some categories. Now remember, if you don't like the categories it came up with, we could jump over the prompt to change the category. But we'll say safety, we got some severities, same thing, we could change those with just our words. Description, how about something like, Buddy spilt milk all over the break room floor. Bad dog. Yeah, right, Buddy's a great dog, he's not a bad dog. And then witness statement here, we could just do something like, from Shane, we had, he was being a crazy pup trying to get a treat. And we could kind of add more there, right? Like we're not really worried about the experience here too much, but we just want to see, does it work, right? So we'll say submit report. All right, it's submitted successfully. Return to the welcome screen. And let's view existing reports and see. So we see all of those in there. And then, of course, if we went and checked the SharePoint list, once again, you don't need the SharePoint list, but it just makes me feel better. Like, look, the data is there. So it is saving my data. Probably comes from some of my original practices where it wasn't saving the data. Now let's go back over here. I'll be honest, a lot of the times on my first shot here, like things are missing. Like the last time I did this, when I hit start new incident report, the screen was blank. So I went over to the agent and said, hey, the screen was blank when I clicked on start new incident report. And it's like, oh, my bad. And then it quickly fixed it. So, that is not unusual. So don't be shocked if that happens. But let's go back here. So let's say we want to change one of these categories. Since there's nothing broken, let's fix something. Let's add something here. And we'll add a category for personal injury, right? So we'll just go here and we'll say, will you please add a category for personal injury to the dropdown? And then we'll hit go. And so same type of thing. It should think about what it needs to do. These are typically taken about 3 steps is what I've been seeing in my experience. And it'll think through that for a minute, and then it should add it. So I'll hit pause, and we'll come right back when it's finished. You can see it's now finished. It took 5 steps. I don't know, it took a minute or so. But let's check it over here. So if we go here to start new incident report, and then under select category, we now have personal injury. Perfect, right? And so if you look over here, you can kind of see it told you like what it did, kind of walk you through it. Of course, you'd expand this and see the steps if you wanted. Now, so we can do that type of data change or forms changes. We could make it, maybe we want to make description be required. Maybe we'll make it just required and it has up to 500 characters. Right? You could set any of that through properties or by using a prompt. The other thing that you can do is that you can go in here and you could even change the design. So let's try something like change the styling to have an 8-bit arcade style. Right? What's going to happen? Probably some crazy 80s colors. So let's hit enter on that one or go, and we'll give it just a second to do that work. Okay, now that is finished. So now look, you can see we got these crazy 80s style colors, right? But everything is still here. It all works the way. Oh, so you can see like this looks like we need to change the font colors here. I'm not gonna mess with that. You get the idea. We can change the design, we can change the colors, we can change the way that it works. We can add buttons, remove buttons, change fields, all of that stuff is possible just using our words over here. So now that we're happy with our app, what we want to do is we click on update up here, right? Think of this as published. So whatever the last published or updated version you pushed out, if you've shared it with yourself or other people, that's the live version people are going to want to interact with. So make sure that you update to get your changes. And then now we want to share. And so when we hit share, we have two options, right? And this is very typical of the Office 365 experience. We've got the copy link. And so this would create a link that anyone in our environment that we gave the link to could take advantage of it, or we could go over here and we could do share, and now we could type in the name of a specific person, and then that would also give them view access. There isn't a way to give people the ability to edit it. That's only view right now, but we have the ability to share our apps as we see fit. Also, if you're thinking, well, how do I get back to the app if I want to use it? All right, so we X out of here. So from, like, if we just go back kind of to the start, so we're in M365 Copilot, right? Our good old work or web tab here. And so then now if we click on App Builder, this will take us back to that place we started. And then if you look down here, we've got the different apps that we've built. There's our edit pencil to go back in the edit experience, or we can play the app. That's how we would use the app ourselves, right? Because the whole point of this was for personal productivity. But there you go. Now you've got your head wrapped around all the fun things you can do with App Builder. Remember, this stuff is new. It is still, wonky at times, right? It's learning, it's evolving, but it's evolving very quickly. Microsoft is very excited about this, so I continually think you're going to see cool new features added, more capabilities here. So even though you shouldn't be building production apps with it quite yet, we should be using it and getting our heads wrapped around how it's going. Now, speaking of keeping up with all this AI and Copilot stuff, right? If we can do anything to help over here at PowerApps 911, we've got your back. We've been doing Copilot and Copilot Studio trainings. We're doing projects for people. We're helping them add AI into their Power Apps and their workflows. We're helping them keep up with new things like this. So we can help you. Just reach out, hit the old contact button on the website, tell us what you need. We'll get back with you. And who knows, maybe you'll even get me as your instructor. All right, that's everything I've got for today. So with that, I'm going to say thanks and have a great day.